Coach, want to start, last week, walk us through the Detroit result. Obviously not favorable, going down a man in the 6th minute. What were you able to learn from that game? What was the overall positive and negative takeaways from the result at Keyworth?
Uh, Negative, obviously, the moment was negative. We need to learn from that. We need to be better. Um, and then after that moment, trying to find the calm, and I felt we never really gave a chance. We went into a defensive structure to try and just maintain some control of the game, but we scored two quick goals. So obviously, it's really difficult once you put yourself down 2-0. But second half, I thought we controlled a lot of the game with 10 men. Had a lot of possession, and obviously that's natural. They don't need to go and score, so maybe that's a bit of that. But the team spirit is still always there for them to be able to fight and run. We had a bunch of guys that covered so much distance, and we had a few guys that covered over 12K. We never really had that before. So team spirit was there for sure.
Is there a discipline issue with the team right now? It's 3 red cards in 4 games across all competitions. It's not something you've seen before. No one's seen with this club. What's going through your mind about having to try to control card management?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, look, we want to be aggressive out of possession and be a counter-pressing team. I mean, I don't think Karifas was a red card, but obviously the referee did, and Zach's, you could argue that wasn't a red card either. I think he got a touch, but I can see why the referee gave red cards in both scenarios. But those are football actions, so I don't think it's a discipline issue. Yeah, the one in Detroit is no excuse in that. You have to be more intelligent in that scenario, and he knows that. But look, they've been on the road for a long time, and if we're at home, those calls probably don't happen. Like Karifa probably doesn't get sent off, Zach probably doesn't get sent off, so yeah, I feel like it's normal. I think everything will even itself out once we start playing in this building.
How do you approach this Saturday's game with what you've got coming up in the historic nature of the next 2 weeks here?
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll deal with the next 2 weeks in the next 2 weeks, but yeah, certainly the squad's gonna get tested, but it's one game this week, so, and they get plenty of time to rest and recover. So this is as normal. We don't need to rotate. We don't need to. We can.
So
if
no
we
rotate.
want.
You're gonna go with your strongest
We
group.
can if we want.
Sure.
We don't need to. So.
Speaking of the Jägermeister Cup, though, this is a quasi-open cup style approach. What are you looking at for objectives, like KPIs for this team going into a Jägermeister match in comparison to maybe setting up against the regular season? Are there certain expectations you have for the guys and things that you want to see done?
No, honestly, I don't think anything changes. We still want to win the Jägermeister Cup. We want to win the Open Cup. We want to win the USL Championship. We want to win the Supporter Shield. So that's why we get out of bed. We don't go into competitions thinking we're going to change or we don't want to win. So we want to win. Will we win? Everybody has the same goals, but we're going to give it our best shot. But how the games are structured, it's nice because you have a week's rest in between, so not like midweek games. So yeah, you just prepare as business as normal. It's just a different competition.
When you saw the team that came out in the US Open Cup against you guys, what was your initial thought? I mean, you've obviously played for them. I mean, you had some of your best years with them. What did you make of that? And them coming here?
I mean, it's the best thing that could have happened for the club, obviously having them be the second game in the stadium, you just couldn't ask for a better opportunity. They have fans, we have fans in close proximity. I'm expecting another really, really good attended match. You really, in terms of us being able to build what we're trying to build, we really couldn't ask for a better opponent. You obviously want to play an MLS team, but I don't think it would have carried the same effect if it was Red Bull or New York City. So it's really nice to be able to get them, and we're all competitors, and they want to test themselves against teams at the highest level. But yeah, I mean, as far as my connection to the club, I still have a couple of people that work there, but so many people that's changed.
So I'm saying you put on the uniform. I mean, that meant something special to you when you played there.
It did, but I don't think it has any influence on any decision, any thought I have going into the game. But it's.
Any choice conversation between you and Parkhurst about it when the announcement was made? I mean,
we kind of figured how the draw was. It wasn't. I don't think it was
felt orchestrated, right?
So it's. But it's the right thing. It's the right thing for us. It's the right opportunity. So yeah, from the challenge from us from managing the high of the home opener in San Antonio, who's a good team, then you have another high. So you go from high to high. So it's you just gotta manage that.
Do you hear maybe online, social media from your fans about going against the Revs and maybe a little rivalry brewing there?
I mean, I'm sure it is, but I just hope it's all in good spirit and good fun. But yeah, I try not to I try not to read social media posts or posts from people that I don't know.
You mentioned starting on the road earlier. What's it been like?
Challenging for sure. It's like 6 weekends in a row. You're just on the road. You're traveling. You're leaving Thursday. Like we left 2 Thursdays, so it's just a lot. It's challenging, but I'm not gonna complain. Like to get this, you have to give up something. So we had to suffer for 6 weeks. We had to do it, but now we're at the end of it. So, but the schedule hasn't been kind to us either. If you look at the table right now, we played 3 of the top 4 teams that are in the East, and the bye weekend we had should have been Louisville, but luckily they asked to change the match at some point. So, and then followed up with 2 West Coast trips. So, look, it would all even out. Yeah, would we like to have more points? We kind of set a target of having 7 points in a round that time, and obviously going to the Detroit match, we still stood a chance. But after 5 minutes, it was done. But I think if you would have gave anybody that stretch, right, 5 league games, if you had 2 wins, 1 tie, 2 losses, I think anybody would have taken that. So right up until Detroit, we were right in that. So I think we're close. Like we kept saying last year, we're close, and now we get to come and play in this building.
What's the 10%? What is that one thing maybe I mean, obviously the right cards suck. That doesn't help the situation. But is there one thing that, if you're 10% better at this, will unlock so much for you guys? Is there one little thing
defending? Because all the games we lost, we gave up 2 goals. So
okay.
You give up 2 goals, you stand.
But are the things within the defense? Is there just little things that are not clicking right now that you're seeing? Is there a through line between all of the ways the goals are being scored?
I don't think there was a trend. If you look at the Phoenix game, like one of theirs was scored from across, it was box defending. The Detroit goal was from a ball in behind, another set piece. But it's hard to really
Heads up.
analyze
another one.
Analyze set pieces when you're down a guy. Like,
sure.
You say, well, it's at that point. So I'm sure we can improve on set pieces defensively because I think we've given up 3, but the Detroit one, I don't even count that. It's a set piece goal down a guy.
Connor, this team's been very much a first half team so far in these almost 7 games now. You're closing out the games, but when you go behind or you're not scoring, like it seems like things aren't getting done in that second half. What are you doing differently to start kind of correcting for that? Or is the plan just score early, control the tempo, and then kind of dictate those terms?
Yeah, I think if you drew it up in a perfect world, you'd love to score 1 or 2 goals. You'd love to score 3 in the first half, like you did against Oakland. But look, it's so many factors that are going to why we are where we are, and the biggest one is that we haven't played a home game yet. So it would all even out. Teams that are doing well, they will slip up, and it would all even out at some point, like it did last year.
And is the locker room intact? Is everyone feeling good? They recognize that it's a long road stretch, and they're just excited to play. I mean, we've seen the pictures of that locker room. Like, do they just get energized when they come into that room?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have good characters no matter what. We've been here before. Like we talked to them last year. Like this time last year, we hadn't won a game, so we're better off than we were last year. But yeah, I think just look at, you don't need to be in the locker room to see it. Look at the spirit and the performance of the second half against Detroit. Like a team that didn't have any team spirit would have quit at that moment. They didn't. They arguably played better.
Going off of last year, any parallels to you between this season and last season's start?
Yeah, I guess 1 game, 1 win in the 6 or 7 games. But it was 1 win in 8 last year. I think the opponents we've played this year have been tougher. I think but last year we were able to build off a home performance like straight away. So the Mexico game was one of our better draw performances outside of a win, but that was a really good performance. So the Oakland performance has been our best performance. But no, we haven't performed anywhere near where we're capable of yet. That's many mitigating factors for that.
Some of that seems like it may be the injuries on this team. Can we get updates? Is Rivera, Bacharach, are they close?
No.
Okay. How about Mark or Chico?
They're all out, and Kharifa's out as well. So, but you can't make excuses. Everybody has injuries. That's why you have reserves and you have depth. So yeah, obviously it'll be tested. Over this next month or so. But yeah, I mean, Mark will be getting back. Mark should be back training soon. Albert should be back training soon. Those were long terms. Danny's a little bit long term. Hugo's a bit longer term. Who else?
Kharifa.
Karifa should be short term, like 2 to 3 weeks.
You had to bring in Rio Hofgun. This should be his last game available for this weekend on his 25-day contract. Overall, how has he performed for you? Has he met those expectations, and is there any chance that we could see him stay a little bit longer in the amber and blue?
Yeah, Rio's done exactly what's been asked of him. He's solid. He does his job, shows up to work every day. He's a good teammate. So yeah, through that contract, this is the last game. So him and I will have a meeting and a discussion after the game to see what it looks like for both parties. But he's certainly done himself proud and stepped in critical moments for us.
Cool.
Thanks.